So, I just test drove a Tesla Model Y. For those of you who know me personally, you know that Tesla is my favorite car. Now, I'm 20 years old and I'm broke. I had no business driving that car. So, why did I take that car for a test drive? The reason why I did that is because I know about the power of visualization. I know about how strong of an influence your imagination has over your reality. There's a saying that goes, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. And that is a saying that I live by and that I would suggest everyone live by because it's true. It's very true. You have to understand that the law of attraction is working at all times, whether you use it consciously or unconsciously. For example, when you want to get up and go to the kitchen, before you go to the kitchen, in your mind, you paint a picture of the kitchen. You know what the kitchen looks like. You imagine walking to the kitchen, and you get up and you go. And a few seconds later, that vision comes to life. You see it in your mind, and now it's right in front of you. It becomes your reality. Now, that's just an everyday example, but that same logic applies at any scale. You know, if you want to get your dream car and you visualize it and you imagine yourself driving it and feeling what it feels like, the feeling of pride, having accomplished maybe, a lifelong goal or a long-term goal, the feeling of exhilaration, if it's a fast car, or comfort if it's a luxury car, the feeling of gratitude for having something that you've wanted for so long and that you wanted so bad. You have to understand that everything that you see around you, literally everything that you see around you, started off as a vision in somebody's head. Okay, so a lot of these things, they were probably completely unfathomable about 100 years ago. If you went back to, 1920, and you told somebody off the street about the internet, they would look at you like you're crazy. They would say there is no way you are going to be able to communicate with people across the world this quickly in this way. What is YouTube? That doesn't exist. There's no way that you can take these videos and post them online and make money for them or, change people's lives by doing that. 100 years ago, this stuff was not possible. People didn't see this in their head until someone did. What you have to understand is that the things that you see as impossible, they're all inherited limitations. The only reason why you think those things are impossible is because someone told you or showed you that those things are impossible in life. The key is understanding that they were only showing you what's not possible in their life, not yours. You set your own limitations. Like I said, nobody could have imagined YouTube or the internet until somebody did, and then they brought it to life. It started off as a vision, brought it to fruition, and this is how everything is invented. Literally everything. Now, back to the Tesla. Like I said, Tesla has been my dream car for the better part of 2 to 3 years now. Definitely since I started YouTube and since I started making money on YouTube. And like I said, I have nowhere near enough money to even be looking at these cars. But today I went out and drove one. I took the time to drive one, and I gave myself that feeling of having one. I didn't act like it was a test drive. I drove it like it was my car. And while I was driving it, I went into this nice neighborhood that I saw, and I imagined myself living in one of those houses, driving that car. And, doing things like that, you have to understand that you are feeding your subconscious mind. You're feeding your subconscious mind through feelings. It's one thing to have a vision of something in your head, but it's another thing to actually feel like that vision is true, like it's your reality. And what you have to understand is that when you feel like it's true, like it's real, then it is real. Your mind can't tell the difference between real and fake. The line between real and fake is a lot more blurred than you think it is. For example, a lot of people on my channel came from my NoFap videos. So let's use, PMO as an example. PMO would not be possible if your mind was able to tell the difference between beating off and actually getting with someone to release. The only reason why you're able to do that in the first place is because your mind learns to associate a feeling with a thought. This is a primary example of how your mind can influence the physical realm. You can literally think yourself into arousal. That's possible, and that's possible. In the same way, you can think yourself into success and everything that comes with success, such as your dream car or your dream house, or traveling around the world, or doing what you want to do with your time every day, having the time freedom to actually enjoy your life and enjoy the money that you're making. It all starts in your imagination. It's a simple idea. You develop an idea in your mind that says, you know what? I want to work for myself. I don't like working a 9 to 5, so I want to work for myself. Now, you may not really understand what that means at first, but that idea may inspire you to do some research, and you can see from other people what it's like to work for yourself. And from doing that, you can start to imagine. You can start to put yourself in that place mentally of what it feels like to work for yourself. You can do this when you're meditating. This is something that I used to do a lot and still do to this day. I would meditate and just imagine working for myself. And over time, like I said, you're feeding your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, that's where the law of attraction actually happens. Your conscious mind, that's kind of where you receive the ideas. That's where you get those ideas from initially. But with repetition, you put it into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind works on autopilot. A lot of the times, you don't know what's going on in your subconscious mind. And it might contradict what's going on in your conscious mind. That's why sometimes you feel like your reality contradicts your conscious mind. The reason why is because your reality is nothing more than a reflection of your subconscious mind. The strongest way to feed your subconscious mind, to get a thought from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind and get it on autopilot, is by feeling a certain way. Okay, if you feel successful right now, if you feel free and independent right now, then it's going to get into your subconscious mind that you work for yourself. And as a result, your reality will have no choice but to conform to that. When you look in the mirror and you smile, your reflection has no choice but to smile back. Now, once you felt something thoroughly enough to get it into your subconscious mind will begin to influence your actions. Okay, it'll influence your actions, and you'll form habits. You'll form daily habits that may seem insignificant right now in the short term, but in the grand scheme of things, if you take things day by day and you change your habits up, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll be where you saw in your imagination. You'll make that come to life because, like I said, when you smile at the mirror, it smiles back. Now, your imagination, that is a very powerful tool. But I believe that if you can find a way to simulate your imagination in real life, that'll take things to a whole different level. So for me, it was driving that Tesla today. Driving that Tesla was completely different than laying down in my bed imagining that I'm driving a Tesla. It's just a whole different experience because now, not only am I feeling it mentally, but I'm feeling it physically. I'm feeling it with all of my senses, and that's going to get it into my subconscious even quicker. Or for example, me being a YouTuber. When I decided that I wanted to be a YouTuber full time, I remember that I was a little bit lazy. I didn't really have the work ethic that I needed to get to the point that I am today and to the point that I'm going to be a year from now or 10 years from now. But I remember everything changed back in January when I decided to go to California. At the time, I had maybe 500 to 600 subscribers, but my dreams were so much bigger than my reality that I had to do something to actually simulate the experience of being a full-time YouTuber. So I remember I went to LA for 4 days, and in that time, I got the chance to experience what it would be like to worry about nothing else aside from content creation every single day. For 4 days, that's all it took, 4 days. After that, I could never look at work the same. At the time, I was working at H&M. And it was a cool job. I was making more money than I had ever made at any other job, and it was a really easy job on top of that. And I was working with some of my friends there. it wasn't a bad job by any means, especially for someone my age. But once I got a taste of being a full-time YouTuber, I could never look at work the same again. And I began to despise going to work all the time. I used to hate going to work. It didn't matter if I was working with my friends, if I was getting paid extra. It didn't matter. No matter what I did to make it feel better for myself, I just couldn't do it anymore. And in March, I ended up quitting that job. I quit that job and I had like 700 subscribers. I had around $600, $700 to my name. And, I just had a vision. I had a vision and a gut feeling. And this is what I mean by your subconscious mind will influence your actions. Before that, I didn't really think about quitting that job. I was just trying to make as much money as possible. But, having taken that trip to California and experienced what it's like to be a full-time YouTuber, I knew in my heart that it was time to make that leap. I just had a gut feeling. And I knew that I can make this vision come to life. And like I said, that was back in March. Today it's September 20th. And I just hit 10,000 subscribers like less than a week ago. And this is my job now. This is my job. And I made it happen just that quick, just a few months. So, I can only imagine where I might be 5 years from now or 10 years from now with that same level of dedication. It all starts with a vision.